So, the Switch 2 Direct. It was a roller coaster, to put it lightly, with some absolutely insane announcements to me. Some good, some bad, and I just wanted to give some of my personal thoughts on the announcements. I wasn't streaming the Direct, I was in a call with some friends, but I still want to get my thoughts on everything out there. So, let's get started with this little rant. It started off with the new Mario Kart game, which, holy shit, this looks awesome. It seems like they've gotten rid of the underwater stuff from 7 and 8, or instead going for a Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing transformed approach, which is an interesting choice. I'm not quite sure how I feel about that yet. And then go into rail grinding Sonic Adventure 2 style, and then some wall jumping mechanic, then holy shit, is that a fucking cow?! The Mega Mushroom and special items from Tora returning? This truck thing that does something? Mario eats a burger and transforms into a different outfit, and it looks like there's gonna be more than one outfit for each track? And that had me thinking you could pick alternate costumes like in Smash Bros or something. And then, the new title, Mario Kart World. They then introduced some of the people working on the Switch 2, and then gave us more of the Mario Kart trailer. They revealed this big open map just brimming with details, Moo Moo Meadows and Airship Fortress are coming back. The Toad's Factory music, let's fucking go! I also want to talk about some of the characters that we see in this shot. A parabeetle, a bee, a fucking crab? What the hell is this roster gonna look like? I'm genuinely curious. They then revealed the new big gimmick of this game, driving anywhere. You actually have to drive to the next track of the Grand Prix, followed by a new mode, Knockout Tour. A really cool elimination-based mode where you have to be within a certain rank in order to stay in the game, and honestly looks like it'd be a ton of fun. They then show off something that I'm genuinely hyped for, free roam. This actually warms my heart. As a kid, I would always try to go and find ways to explore tracks. Then there's stuff like the Coconut Mall glitch, and this feels like it's feeding right into that childhood enjoyment of just wandering around the track and taking in all the little details. They even give you a photo mode, which is pretty cool. Then, they ended off by saying this will be a Switch 2 launch title with its own dedicated Direct on the 17th.
So be on the lookout for more information in the future.
Sorry, I just wanted to point out what I think might be a script read fuck up. Don't worry, happens to the best of us. They then go over a new feature of the console, the C button. I genuinely thought this was a social media joke. I didn't think they'd actually do it. Bish. Okay, I'll bite. What does it do? Well, it brings up Discord. Wait, hold on. I made a mistake in the script here. Game chat.
Yeah.
Hold on, that's vehicular manslaughter! So apparently the Switch 2 comes built in with a microphone that can pick up your voice clearly and have noise cancellation to cut out loud sounds in the background. Cap. It also lets you share your screen in a very rough frame rate, it seems, but hey, just the fact they got this working at all is probably pretty heavy on the Switch 2's power, so I think we should cut them some slack. I also think that if we wanted a better, smoother screen share experience, we could use something else. What was it again? Oh yeah, Discord. It does show that you can also play the games from the original Switch with the screen share mode, so that's a nice bonus, I guess. They then reveal that you can buy the lamp from the Pixar opening as a camera that plugs directly into one of the Switch's USB-C ports. Okay. Doing this lets you just have your face over the game. But they also show some other uses for it. I'm gonna be honest, I don't see this getting much use, but it's been interesting nonetheless. They then also reveal this feature requires Nintendo Switch Online membership, which that sounds stupid, but considering most of the games they were demonstrating being played with this feature were online games, I don't think that's gonna matter much. The next feature reveal is what they call Game Share, a seeming successor to download play on the DS and 3DS systems, letting you play games locally on multiple systems even if only one person has the game. It's honestly a great feature, even revealing that you can do this with people who haven't upgraded systems yet. They then take a bit of wind out of the feature's sails by revealing that it only works with a few games, but it's not like all DS and 3DS games had download play either, so I guess it could be worse. Now we get to learn more about the system itself, touting a bigger 1080p screen, games are going to be up to 120 FPS, cap, HDR, I had to look up what that was, the way the Joy-Cons connect magnetically, bigger SL and SR buttons, which is a welcome upgrade compared to the buttons the size of my Estrogen the original Joy-Cons had, bigger joysticks, and mouse control? That's an interesting thing to say the least, but I'm interested to see what they can do with it. Better speakers and a built-in microphone with noise cancellation, cap, 3D sound, whatever that means, a much better stand than the original Switch, as well as a port on the top which lets you charge it in handheld mode. Very good additions in my opinion. 256 gigabytes of storage, faster load times, a new dock with 4K support, a fan built into the dock, and finally, backwards compatibility. Kinda.
And to help players better understand the Switch 2 hardware, we're currently developing this game.
Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour, an interesting little tech demo that you have to pay for. Fuck yourself. It feels like Nintendo wanted to pull an Astro's Playroom type deal for the system, but instead of making a charming 3D platformer, they settled for a minigame collection that tells you about stuff inside of the system and gives examples on how features of the system might be used. A fine enough concept, but not one that I'd want to pay for. If they really want this to be a welcome tour to the new system, wouldn't it make more sense to have it pre-installed? Game cards are now red. Cool. The system also will only work with specific types of microSD cards, because they're faster. Transferring system data, Switch 2 Pro controller with a C button on its crotch and 2 extra buttons on the grips for the system. Switch 2 website is announced to basically be a Q&A with the developers. All fine announcements, nothing I really have anything to say about. And finally, they give us the launch date, June 5th. That's honestly quite surprising, just 2 months away from when this trailer dropped. Following that announcement is that they have plans to basically enhance original Switch games for Switch 2, and their first example is Mario Party Jamboree, or Super Mario Party Jamboree Nintendo Switch 2 Edition plus Jamboree TV if you want to go by its full legal name. How the fuck did I know that in one take? They showed off some new mini-games featuring mouse controls with the new Joy-Cons, voice recognition, and the camera, which sounds a bit familiar, don't you think? You can use the camera to show off, as they put it, your expressions in real time, Bowser Live, which seems to be a collection of camera-based minigames. Again, I swear I've heard of something like this before. And finally, this roller coaster mode where you shoot down enemies and play minigames that are designed for some of the new Joy-Cons gimmicks. Pretty cute additions, but I'll be honest, I don't see these modes getting much playtime. If you already have the game, you get to upgrade the game for free.
Nintendo Switch 2 players who already own Super Mario Party Jamboree can upgrade to Nintendo Switch 2 Edition plus Jamboree TV by purchasing an upgrade pack.
Well, fuck me, I guess. The next Switch 2 Edition games are Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, which are great ideas to upgrade, because as great as those games are, they can struggle a bit in the frame rate department. There's also Zelda Notes, a thing on the Nintendo Switch app, solidifying that no one's going to use this thing. Basically, this app from what they showed us Google Maps for Hyrule.
Guidance activating. Proceed north.
No, I'm not kidding. Kirby gets this new story mode thing, but Metroid easily gets the most justified improvement to the game, being able to use mouse controls, which is generally a great addition and really good for showing off the use of the mouse mode in the new Joy-Cons. Speaking of mouse mode, they showcase a new game specifically designed around that control scheme, Dragon Drive. It's a basketball game in wheelchairs, which isn't a bad idea, and the game looks like it would be pretty fun. Thing is, I can only imagine how strenuous this would be on your hands, constantly having to drag the controllers across your desk to move. Still, a cool looking game with an interesting use for the controller's unique gimmicks. They then go on to their third-party stuff, and they come out swinging. The first game they show is fucking Elden Ring? Hades 2 follows that up, and I'm sorry, Elden Ring completely stole its thunder. I forgot it was even in this direct until I rewatched it for this write-up. Street Fighter 6 is also announced, getting their own amiibo figures, a new Daemon X Machina, Titanic Scion? I don't fucking know. Split Fiction gets announced, which is a perfect fit in my opinion, it being a co-op based game. Obviously, it belongs on the console with 2 controllers right out of the box. EA Sports? Who the fuck cares? Hogwarts Legacy, that's pretty cool, I guess. I personally never took any interest in the game, but I'm happy for those who are. Tony Hawk 3 and 4 look fucking awesome with a SpongeBob something? IO Interactive announces that Hitman is coming to the Switch 2, followed by fucking 007? Square Enix reveals Bravely Default Flying Fairy HD Remastered. Yakuza 0, another game that, while I've never been that personally interested in, is a game that I think is a great inclusion. I'm happy for fans of the series to have a way to play it on the new console. Nintendo then announces a new Hyrule Warriors game, this time focusing on the imprisoning war that led to the events of Tears of the Kingdom, which is pretty cool. We get the same perks from the original Switch on Switch 2 with a new virtual console library coming. That's pretty cool. What's it going to— Holy shit! GameCube on Nintendo Switch, it's finally fucking happening! Before this Direct, I'd actually been trying out some games from the GameCube, such as Burnout 2, F-Zero GX, and Kirby Air Ride. And there's a ton of games from the library that I haven't even gotten to try, so I'm extremely happy to have an official way to play these games. Wind Waker, Soul Calibur 2, F-Zero GX, and more games to come, like Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness, Chibi Robo, and Luigi's Mansion being ones that caught my eye. They're also revealing a GameCube controller exclusive for the Switch 2, which is great because I'm very desperately in need of an excuse to replace my current one. Back to the third-party stuff. Holy fuck, Deltarune Chapters 3 and 4! It's real! Deltarune tomorrow! Borderlands 4, Civilization with mouse controls, WWE and NBA 2K, who the fuck cares? This game that I couldn't see the name of because it froze the live stream and took 5 minutes to get fixed. Enter the Gungeon, Starseeker, fucking Cyberpunk? I think this is the moment where it really set in. We're finally getting a modern console. Never in a million years would I think we'd be getting a game like Cyberpunk, this massive open world game that saw a plethora of issues on other consoles at launch, appear on a Nintendo system. But here we are. Immediately after, Final Fantasy VII Remake, holy shit, and we end things off with a scissor reel of other games including, oh my fucking god, we have an update on Silksong! A handful of other games, Puyo Puyo Tetris 2S, oh my god, this is the best day of my life! Finally, we end off the third-party talk with a reveal of a new From Software game, The Duskbloods, exclusively on Switch 2. That is fucking awesome. Even as someone who doesn't play From Software games, I can recognize just how big this is. We Nintendo players are eating good today, goddamn. Nintendo then goes on to a new game, with Kirby desperately trying to hold on to a Warp Star. Okay, what is it? Oh my god, what the fuck? A new Kirby Air Ride game, Kirby Air Riders, directed by Masahiro Sakurai? Like I said earlier, I've been trying out Kirby Air Ride recently, and I find it to be quite fun. So I'm really excited to see what comes of this game. Then, the final game of the Direct, fucking Donkey Kong! A 3D Donkey Kong game where you get to destroy literally anything. This looks fucking awesome! They finish off the Direct with a Nintendo Switch 2 digital bundle of Mario Kart World. That's all fine and good, but I much prefer owning my games physically. Let me just go ahead and see how much that will cost.
Oh my goodness!
And that's where a lot of my excitement for the console died. Physical games will apparently be going for anywhere between $80 to $90. But if you get games digitally, you can get them for around $30 less. I want you to take a look at my media shelf here. You know what I love about my media shelf? The fact it has fucking media. Almost every Switch game is one I own physically, and sure, it might be less convenient to carry around this case full of games with me wherever I go, but it means I actually own my games. This also means that if there's a game that I want that isn't sold here, I can have it imported like I did with my copy of Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. We live in a day and age where physical media matters now more than ever, because time and time again it has been proven that even if we buy something digitally, it can still be taken away from us. Also, let's take into account the actual demographic of a Nintendo console. Yes, you have the core gamer, but a good chunk of the user base of Nintendo consoles are either kids or casual families. People who aren't gonna know what the fucking eShop is. So, the average consumer is going to walk into a game store, pick up a Nintendo game, and is probably not going to be willing to fork over $80 to $90 on a game when, most likely, there will still be original Switch games on sale at $60. People are angry and begging for the price to be lowered. Some friends of mine have expressed a weakened interest in the system. This, in my opinion, could be the death of the console. Things seem bleak, but hopefully these weird anti-consumer practices can be turned around. We've seen controversy like this get reversed before, and I feel like we can do it again. But yeah, those are just my opinions on the Switch 2 as it currently stands. Sorry this isn't exactly my usual type of video, I just had a lot to say. I'm working on other projects at the moment as well, so subscribe for those. And we'll hopefully resume with normal Mario Kart Wii content by the next video. Until then, see you next time. Bye!